Wet hole. Really good. Nice. Road rage around there, but here's west to go. We're going to go on. We're approaching.
This is Portsmouth.
Further requirement, but you can also benefit the. There is there's HMS Warrior.
Beautiful.
And you will be able to visit there. As you will, well, it's neither here nor there, but this is the coast. So that was.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
He's missed that oil on the side.
Yeah. 6 inches.
Yeah, look at that.
So the London Peugeot.
Jacks are. That's a nice thing to say, isn't it? I like that.
The captain of the lounge. They are identified by square green and white signs, with arrows in each corner pointing inwards to a symbol. All personal belongings behind.
It's my favourite vista of the whole
The ship's crew via a chute from the outside promenade deck. Please be advised that all internal passenger lounges and car decks are no smoking.
Look at this. I think they should lock their car.
They're the forts protecting the entrance to the harbour.
Sawyer, he's made out.
Yes, a Swiss cottage built by for the children. Probably the most exotic garden playhouse ever built. But it was with a serious thing in mind, so that they would be made themselves self-sufficient. They had so, in 45, Ella Blanchford, which didn't have the house as you see it now. It had other holdings on the land, and it was an even larger estate today, because it's been whittled down a bit over the years. So between 1845 and 1851, under the direction of Albert himself, together with Thomas Cubitt, the architect and builder, who incidentally is also famous for having what is an Italian Renaissance palazzo style, this Renaissance style. So it was a hospital during the First World War for so many. It was realised that something had to be done to preserve this. It won't have long enough, because so much suggests to our guests that they should consider this coastline, certainly the southern coastline, east and west. You can look at military craft facing the mainland in a landing stage there. They didn't go by right thing. So this is the estate, the beginning of it. There are many prize trees. Prize trees are noted by the Royal Horticultural Society as trees which are taller, large.
Well, I knew how to live, didn't I?
Has he got the money to do this, or has he got...
It's the same way going around in a circle.
You can see how many tourists there are. These are tourists. They're not just people aimlessly wandering around their own town.
The weather's just full on, isn't it?
This is Newport.
This is Newport.
Right up
Referring to the stone for the most of the modern, or rather the restoration work. You would go to the Isle of Wight, popularised by I ask for quickest route so I get the bank speed. One of our big supermarkets. It's trying to send me down the street, I don't want to go down. That's the one I went down before. Okay, just one's going to go back to where it was all going wrong. That's Sally, my friend, Peter over there. Okay, if you want to have an outside bastions you can walk, for those, I can see they're very fit, many of you amongst us. The film show I recommend to everyone is in there. And if you watch that to start with, it puts everything into perspective.
Welcome to Carisbrooke Castle. My name is Jupiter, and my family's been turning the treadmill here to raise water for donkey's years, and we never seem to get anywhere. But I've seen it all, and I can rewind the wheel of time and take you back through centuries of history. This castle's been a centre of power, a fortress, a prison, and a home of great lords. It's seen tragedy, intrigue, war, and peace. Spin the wheel and roll back the years. And how far shall we go? There was a burial ground here over 1,000 years ago in Anglo-Saxon times, and a stronghold thingy. And then, in 1100, Norman lords of the Red Ver family built a stone castle to rule over the island and the sea around. But from 1263, Carisbrooke and the whole of the Isle of Wight were ruled for 30 years by a woman.
I, Isabella de Fortibus, or, according to some, Isabella de Fours.
Which one made you mind her?
Countess of Devon and Oman, daughter of Earl Baldwin de Redver. Married, at the age of 11 or 12,
Weren't you a bit young?
married William de Fortibus.
Or divorced?
And when both my husband and my brother died, I became one of the richest heiresses and greatest landowners in the kingdom. And I made this castle my home, and I rebuilt and refurbished it to make it a fitting dwelling for a great lady.
Here she goes again, me.
Carisbrooke was important because of its strategic position, guarding the gates of England from foreign foes.
Fair enough. And the French did verbally besiege it in 1377, although they didn't get in because the defenders were as stubborn as mules. But let's move it on through history. Roll the wheel 300 years on from Isabella to Tudor times. And now it's the 1590s. And the Spanish are mustering another armada. They're still not having enough after their defeat against Queen Elizabeth and Francis Drake a few years before. And Carisbrooke He's once again playing a crucial part in the defence of the realm. Introducing George Carey, 2nd Baron Hunsdon, Queen Elizabeth's cousin, 1596. My lord, the Spanish are coming.
Alas, that we should find the Isle of Wight conquered, kept and inhabited by Spaniards.
And bringing with them their Spanish practices and Spanish omelettes and their Spanish steps.
But I will so interrupt you that I will lose my life before they shall enjoy it.
How so, your royal cousinship?
The fortifications here I found well begun, and if they be finished, it will be the strongest island of Christendom, and thereby stand ever assured of the crown of England. I shall rebuild the castle's defences, throw up the outer ramparts and ditches more than a mile round, and create an artillery fortress with flanking batteries and projecting bastions, all in the latest military fashion.
Hurrah for merry England and projecting bastions.
I hold this place with 500 men are stronger by my presence. So confident I am of the love and courage of our people.
So he does, but this time the Armada never lands.
What?
But never mind, George, you also built yourself a new mansion within the walls and made yourself a reputation as a generous host.
But
Sorry, that's history. Spin the wheel forward another half-century, and where will the fickle thinker Colonel Robert Hammond, captain of the Isle of Wight at the end of the Civil War in 1647? Robert, we got a present for you. Oh, it's King Charles I.
Oh, gentlemen, you have undone me by bringing the king into the island. If at least you have brought him, and if you have not, pray let him not come.
Too late. Here he is. He's to be kept prisoner here on account of him losing the Civil War one day.
But between my duty to his majesty and my observing trust to the king of the other, I am confused how to act.
Did you want to be the king's jailer? You fought for Cromwell and the parliamentarians against the king.
But my uncle was one of the king's chaplains, and another one fought alongside Cromwell. It's all a bit tricky.
Poor Bell. He did become the king's jailer. He couldn't get out of it.
And neither could the king.
He tried once or twice, actually, but he got stuck between the bars of his window.
And then he completely lost his head.
And then his daughter, Princess Elizabeth, fell sick and died here in captivity. He was only 14.
Oh, poor little thing. But let's go on now, rolling up the years, right up to the 20th century and another royal princess, Princess Beatrice.
I was the 9th and last child of Queen Victoria.
You must have had a lot of hand-me-downs.
I spent much of my childhood here on the island. It was my duty to stay with my mother through her long widowhood at Osborne House. But I met and fell in love with Prince Henry of Battenberg.
And what did you usually have for tea? Scones, flapjacks, cake?
My husband was made governor of the island, but when he died in the Ashanti Wars in West Africa, I was given the governorship.
Oh, that's right. Keep it in the family.
And in 1913, 12 years after my mother had died at Osborne House, I came to live here at Carisbrooke. And for 25 years, my royal standard flew above the battlements every summer. I put in new heating and plumbing, and a chapel for poor old King Charles, a museum, and yes, a lovely new garden.
So Carisbrooke became a royal home and settled down into its own comfortable old age as an ancient monument and museum. And that brings us bang up to date. Fortress, prison, mansion, seat of government. It's all out there. Enjoy it. I'll be in here for the next few centuries if you need me. I don't know, it's a lovely place, but I feel like I'm stuck on a bit of a treadmill. If you know what I mean.
How long have you had yours? Have you had it up there at the All British show at King's School?
No, I've had it.
No,
I've had it at Christie Creek.
have you? Oh, right. Oh, right.
Yeah, well, that's what you were saying. King's was
27 years old. It weighs just over 1.5 tons. It's 15'6" across, and it is made of solid oak. The only thing on our wheel that's not an original feature now is the floorboards. That's a nice soft pine wood, and it's much nicer on our donkey's little feet. But originally, it would have been turned by prisoners, and they would have had oak steps running through it. When prisoners turned this wheel, they'd have been doing it pretty much until they dropped. Donkeys took the work over in the 1690s, and now they are very spoilt indeed and do an absolute maximum of 6 minutes work a day. So they're not working very hard. Today, Jack is going to be doing 2 demonstrations, which means by the end of his shift today, he will have done the grand total of roughly 60 seconds work. So he's got quite a nice life here at Carisbrooke. He's very spoilt, very well loved, and they're all a little bit more overweight than they are overworked. This isn't the only well we have here at Carisbrooke. Water soaking through the chalk mound in order to fill it up, so when the weather's nice, it does tend to run dry, which obviously isn't very good for a castle that's defending itself from attack. Eventually, in 1136, it was decided that we needed a new well here. That's this one right here. This well took 2 prisoners just over a year to dig, and it is 161 feet deep, which is roughly 49 metres. At the very bottom, soaking through chalk from the island's natural water table, we've got about 40-foot fresh, clean drinking water. Now, if we wanted Jack to bring us a bucket of this water, it would take 17 turns to drop the bucket down, and then another 17 to bring it all the way back up again. We're not going to ask Jack to work that hard today, though. All we're going to ask him to do today is 2 turns of the wheel. That's going to bring an empty bucket up about 20 feet. And depending on how cooperative Jack is actually feeling today, this should take between 30 and 50 seconds. So let's see if he's in the mood to do any work. Come on, Jack. That's it. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, flashes off. Patience. Come on. Back you go, Jack. Back you go. That's it. Good boy. Can you jump? Good boy. Come on then, Trouble. Don't just, don't spring into action immediately. Come on. Come on, Jack. Come on then. 1 foot in front of the other leg.
Oh, good on you, Jack. What a trooper.
Oh, Jack. Was that what was wrong? You were dying for the loo, was it? Does that feel better now, does it? Are you feeling a bit lighter? Come on then. I'll help you start. Oh, Jack, I'm not doing all your work for you. Come on. Come on, Jack. You've learned to turn it. Come on. Good boy. That's it, Jack. Good boy. Good boy, Jack. Long way down. Through the years
No, it's a prosperous country now, isn't it? It's becoming more classified in this space. Really? Yeah. Portsmouth Spinnaker is a small beer compared with the sea and town.
Independent of the cost. Just a few points of interest as we go around the museum. But what's not mentioned there is that on the first floor is the World War I exhibition and a short video of the tour of village.
Yeah.
For the lady driver.
Good.
God. The old Roman name, I said it would appear. Vectus Blue. That Graham and I would On behalf of Backroads, we'd like to invite you all for a drink this evening. That's good, you should be able to get out easier this time. Express, is it?
It's got to be brave to do it. Oh, absolutely.